Hi guys, welcome back to Let's Play World of Warcraft with Andy. Today we are going to continue our questing around Ungoro Crater. The first step of which is to head to the first step of which is to head to the Mossy Pile section of the map. That's the secondary campsite in Ungoro Crater that we've previously encountered. Now, we currently have 2 quests to turn in there, so it should be relatively easy for us to go do that. And once we've done that, we can continue on with some of our other questing opportunities. For example, we need to gather 10 discarded supplies and kill 35 pterodaxes, or some number like that, since we need their scales. So I suppose we can go ahead and get started with the pterodax fighting, as that's something that we just need to get done. We'll see how many we get. Looks like we got 2 that time, so it could be as few as, like, I don't know, 12 or 15 pterodaxes that we need to kill. Depending, they could possibly drop 3 or 4 scales, so we'll just have to see. So in other than World of Warcraft news, I picked up the game Final Fantasy XIV. It's another MMO, somewhat similar to Terra or World of Warcraft. It has a combat system more similar to World of Warcraft or Star Wars: The Old Republic, but with graphics that are somewhat reminiscent of Terra. So it's actually quite a solid game so far. It was a little difficult to acquire because the popularity of the game, coupled with some early server issues around launch, caused them to halt selling the game through their digital download function on their store. It's made by, oh goodness, is it NCSoft perhaps? I don't know. I'd have to double check who makes it, but it's actually a very solid game so far, and I'm really enjoying it. It's got some interesting properties in terms of allowing you to level up the same character as multiple different classes. I really don't know all of the ins and outs of the game. I'm still sort of learning my way through it, but having a lot of fun, and I might give you guys some updates every now and then on how that's going, depending on if you guys are interested or not. I have no particular plans to stop playing WoW, as I still find it to be very entertaining, and I have a lot to work on with it. But I think that a lot of my time for other casual gameplay will be spent in Final Fantasy, so it's definitely a game that I would recommend if you're in the market for a new MMO. Another one that I've heard a lot of good stuff about, but didn't end up looking into, was called The Secret World. Apparently it's an MMO where you just pay one purchase cost and then don't end up paying monthly for it. At least that's what I've heard. If you're interested in that type of thing, I can say it might be worth checking out, but personally can't really vouch for it since I haven't given it a shot. So it does look interesting. It's kind of I guess it might be part of the whole Cthulhu mythos, or at least that style. It looks like the type of game where you're battling eldritch horrors, and you, I guess, are part of some secret organization or cabal, and it takes place in what appears to be sort of an alternate timeline, alternate reality, modern day or early future. So it's kind of a neat idea. I like the idea. The only reason I'm not playing it is just for pure lack of time. Too much stuff to do. As it is, I'm finding that I've got plenty on my plate between World of Warcraft and now with Final Fantasy. So, I guess we are not very high in health. We gotta use Expel Harm to try to bring our health back up. One thing that I will say is if you guys have any questions, comments, or recommendations, I certainly always welcome them. I mean, I know that we've got a few different viewers, and if you guys want me to particularly give anything a shot, if you'd like to see me try to run some dungeons or do a battleground or two, we can certainly take an episode and do that. So, you know, if you have any requests or recommendations like that, feel free to let me know. I always appreciate comments, good or bad. They help me to make things better, so, you know, I do what I can. And certainly I appreciate you guys watching the episodes. It means a lot that you would take time to enjoy these, so, you know, thank you for that. So we've completed gathering the wing scale things, yeah, the pterodax scales, so we can go ahead and turn in these at the mossy pile. Go back to Shizzle here, turn in 35 of them, and it doesn't look as the, oh wait, no, this item is good for us, never mind. So we're gonna get Shizzle's muzzle cover, and we can go, oh, what on earth? I'm not sure what's going on with my inventory here. I think this has to do with the fact that a new patch has come out and my add-ons aren't exactly all up to date, so please forgive any little graphical errors. For some reason, the inventory system here has blue squares in all the spots that don't have items. Whatever. So we'll go ahead and equip the Shizzle's nozzle cleaner, and then I guess our next task of the day will be to go hunt down this particular, I guess they'd be called Tar Lords, Tar Elementals. This one particular one is called Gormash, the Gluttonous, so he needs to be taken down. Oh. And we have angered a pterodactyl. Fortunately, I think we can outrun him, so we're just going to kind of duck around these guys here. But we need to go kill Gormash the Gluttonous and then take his unbelievably sticky tar. Because what better thing to do with your time than going around and killing animated glue beings? So anyway, we'll, I guess he's a little further around here. Possibly over in this direction. This is a very verdant area. The Roiling Gardens. Have we gone too far? Oh, yep, went too far. I see. Maybe he's up on top of here. No. Is he down here somewhere? Maybe I need to summon him. Tar Scraper? Nope. Let's take a look at this again. Gremix once told me about a larger than normal tar creature. It lurks around the tar pit far to the east of here, south of Fungal Rock. Alrighty. Well, I guess we'll just run around this little lake here and see if we can... Ah, there he is. Wow, he's quite a bit larger than his fellow tar beings. So we shall give him the old what for and gather up his tar. That was surprisingly easy, mainly due to our ability to insta-kill anything that gets below us in health. And now that we've gathered the unbelievably sticky tar, we can apparently get stuck on a bone while reading a map. Don't read your map while you drive. That's the moral of that story. We're going to head back in this direction towards the mossy pile and turn in the Gormash quest. Once we've done that, I think we'll try to head south to the, I guess they're called the Scalding Pits. hot springs, the Golaka hot springs, that's what they're called. Not the scalding pits. I don't know why I thought they were called that. I'm somewhat thinking of Scalding Tarn. If anybody listening, watching, plays any of Magic the Gathering, you might be familiar with Scalding Tarn. But Scalding Tarn is not what this is. It's a collection of hot springs. Unbelievably sticky tar, turning in. So we can get a tarred robe, not so useful. Sticky bracers, also not so useful. But the tarred robe is better for us because of the money. So, we now need to gather some more crystals, which, wow, if we look at the map here, definitely seem to be in quadrants. So green in the upper right hand, yellow in the upper left, red in the lower left, and blue in the lower right. So that's kind of cool. Anyway, we will head to the hot springs and see what we can find. In addition, actually, we're going to head north. We're going to head north first because we've got this quest to gain Marshall's Refuse, the 10 discarded supplies. Those are up near the old camp in Ungoro Crater. Prior to the Cataclysm, there used to be a camp in the northern section of Ungoro Crater. I'm not certain exactly why they moved, but I suspect that it has to do with the attack of a giant dragon during the Cataclysm, and I'm sure that they had very good reason for leaving their old camp. So, as part of the restructuring of all the quests in the zone and whatnot, Blizzard, I suppose, felt that it was justifiable to move the camp around, or move the camps and rearrange characters and things. So now we have a camp in the south instead of the north. So we'll just duck in up here and try to dodge the Tar Lords, gain some Marshall's Refuse, and then we'll be good to go. We should be able to just pick up some of the leftover supplies from when they lived up here. Here we go. Fortunately, there's a fairly friendly collection of stone guardians wandering around. They don't seem too concerned with us being here. Hopefully they don't mind us taking some of this refuse. Oh, apparently they do. Alright. I'm not sure why they would care about refuse, but they seem quite irate if we take it, so we'll just have to try to grab the boxes that are farthest from them. So let's see, what else can we find here? Looks like there's some down here. We'll have to take out this guy once we grab this one. Yep. Hey buddy, we'll fight you. Take on this stone guard. He's no match for us. Unfortunately, we can't use our insta-kill move more than every so often. I suppose 1.5 minutes is not a terrible cooldown to have for an ability that is really quite powerful and has saved us a lot of times. It's very useful, so I guess we'll take out this guy and then try to grab the box that's up on the hill here. Hopefully that notification from my phone wasn't too loud. I do apologize. I have managed to consistently forget to turn those down or off, so I apologize for that. And now my phone's all frozen up, so I can't even silence it. My apologies, guys. I'm gonna just try to take this guy down, and there we go. Dealt with. That took far more effort than I thought it would. I was hoping to just deal with it quietly, but anyway, we will come back to this question mark pile in 1 second. Grab that supply. There's a quest here. Dodonga's Grave. Looks like it's a repeatable quest too, which, if I haven't mentioned it before, is the purpose for these blue question marks. They indicate a repeatable quest. Here lies Dodonga, sturdy mountain-trusted friend, died shortly after the cataclysm. She always hated loud noises. In lieu of flowers, please drop off a few blood petal sprouts. In life, she loved nothing more. Well, that's very sad. Let me check our inventory. Doesn't look like we have... What on earth is a guardian stone? Apparently we've got some sort of a guardian stone. I don't know. I would assume it's some sort of a crafting thing. But prior to the cataclysm, Dodonga was part of a series of quests here, at least one of which involved gathering blood petal sprouts and giving them to Dodonga. It was, I forget whether it was a Kodo or some form of a dinosaur, but it was friendly and, you know, a character that was part of this area, so it's rather sad to see that type of a thing. I suppose it's just par for the course with a cataclysm that destroys a large section of the environment, but I guess it seems unusual at best for characters to actually die in the course of the story. I mean, I'm not too familiar. Oh, hey, I'm not too familiar with it. I can't quite place when that's happened before, I guess. So I'm sure there are a number of other examples. For example, well, I just said I can't place it, but there was a Tauran chieftain that was killed during a chain of events in some story that was rather sad at the time. There are a number of different characters that have died. Some come to mind from recent revelations with the Pandaria storyline, if you guys are following that. I think certain characters have died there that it's rather sad to see die. I'm not going to be more specific than that, just in case anybody is not familiar with it and doesn't want to have... Oh god. He just got thrown by this stone guardian. But I don't want to spoil the storyline for anybody that's not familiar with what's been going on in Pandaria at this point. I will tell you guys that as of right now, chronologically, patch 5.4 just recently came out in the past few days, so that is sort of where we are as far as storyline goes. So if you're curious, I'm sure you can find plenty of information on... Oh, he is angry. I'm sure you can find plenty of information online about what's going on currently in the current events of World of Warcraft. As it is, looks like we need actually no more supplies. We are done gathering supplies. I thought we needed one more, but it appears we are fine. So we shall head out of this cave back through the camp and to the south. Unfortunately, we can't gather these crystals. If we could, that would be a great place to get some green-blue power crystals. Take care of those ones that we need. I suppose we could duck over to the northeast to try to pick up some green crystals, but for now it's not really worthwhile. We'll deal with it later if we end up completing the crystal quests at all. As it is, we just want to avoid some of these guys, run away from the tar lurkers, and get back to camp so we can turn these in. Then we can travel south. Having completed our duty in the north, we can go find out what's going on at the Golaka Hot Springs. So we should probably, this will be one of our last trips to Mossy Pile. Later on, we'll probably be taking the path to the northwest. If you look at the map, there's a path that leads to Silithus. That's the 55 to 60 zone. And currently we are 54, so we need to level up a bit more before we can head there, but shouldn't be too long. Looks like we don't have a lot of good options for this quest reward. Gremix Bring 2 Ungoro Gorilla pelts, 2 Ungoro Stomper pelts, and 2 Ungoro Thunderer pelts. Oh my. And another quest here. Find Amy 01 at Fungal Rock. So actually, these are very similar quests to ones that existed prior to the Cataclysm. And I guess we'll go do these. We're going to have to put off going to the Galaka Hot Springs for just a little longer. In the caves to the north here, there's a bunch of gorillas, and we should be able to find both the... Oh, I want to grab this green crystal. Oh god, run. Run from the pterodactyl. We want to avoid getting caught by that guy. There we go, now they tethered back. So pretty soon here we'll be able to mount up. Right? Mount. There we go. And keep riding. Looks like we've completed our allotment of green power crystals. We can now collect blue and red and then be done with this quest. But in this cave up here there's a bunch of gorillas of various kinds, including one sort of sentient robotic gorilla thing constructed by some engineer. I'm not sure whether the dwarf that tasked us with this is the constructor of Amy 01, who is right here. No power seems to be running through her components, but it's a very impressive system nonetheless. Operational capacity less than 5%. Accidentally punctured oil reservoir. Use coconut milk. Rock. Save Amy 01. Aw. Okay. We will do that. We will gain a coconut. Where? We need to get a coconut. I guess we'll just sort of head towards the cave here. Ah! Is this a coconut? This is probably what... Apparently we are not going to gather the coconut until we defeat the coconut guardian in front of the cave. There we go. So let's go ahead and grab a coconut here. Loot this guy and head back to Amy so that we can try to give her the coconut oil, coconut juice, whatever. So let's see. Can we use this? Right click it to open. Alright, high viscosity coconut oil. Coconut milk. There we go. There we go. Good. Bring Amy's thumb drive back to Karna. Rem travel at Mossy Pile. Alright. Amy has a new family now. Aw, okay. So, Robo Gorilla is gonna stay here, apparently passed out with the rest of the gorillas, and that's fine. We'll just kill them, I guess, for their pelts. Seems a little cruel after saving the robot gorilla, who clearly, cares about staying with these. But such is the life of a quest quester, I guess? A questant. Such is the life of a questant. We don't always get to choose what we do. Alright. Another one down. I was hoping these pelts would drop a little more easily than this, but they seem to be not entirely forthcoming. So we will take down a few more of these guys, and then we should be pretty good to go. Fortunately, Amy has moved out of the cave. I believe in the past the quest involved saving Amy and then escorting her out of the cave, and that was rather more difficult. Oh, the mighty Ucha. Alright, accept. Huh. That's kind of interesting that the quest just popped up there rather than being given to us by somebody. I guess they didn't want people to make it here, kill Ucha, and not have the quest. But at least this gives us a goal in the cave. We can go do this and just gather the pelts as a side product, a byproduct. Alright, there we go. There's another one down.
That spell is not ready yet. I need to be closer. I am out of range. That is too retarded. That ability is not ready. Not ready yet.
So this should be pretty straightforward, and fortunately a lot of these caves are laid out very similarly, so it's not all too terribly difficult to find our way through them. Looks like Ucha's probably up in that direction, which will be looping around to the side. We'll have to see though. He may be somewhere entirely different, I'm not certain. And Ungoro Thunderer down. Ah, here's Ucha. Roaming through the cave, I suppose. So we need to kill 2 more Ungoro gorillas at least. And then we'll need to take down an Ungoro Stomper for its pelt. So that's hopefully not entirely too difficult. Alright. We got Ucha's pelt. Looks like an Ungoro gorilla is over in this direction. So we'll take this guy down since he's here.
I am out of range.
And then we will need to kill 1 more of these and 1 Stomper. In situations like these, I can see how it would be particularly useful to have a rogue's ability to stealth. If you were able to make your way into a cave and then stealth out without needing to worry about any foes, that could be very powerful. That would be a very useful questing tool, since it would save you from a lot of extra fighting. On the other hand, you do gain less experience if you fight less, so it's a trade-off that I guess people have to balance when they pick their class. As a monk, we pretty much have to fight stuff everywhere that we go, because we don't have a decent way of sneaking past enemies. It would be rather interesting if there was some form of, like, sneaking spider stance or something. Currently we only have Stance of the Fierce Tiger, and I have to assume that we'll be getting more stances later on, or that we would get more in different specs. Otherwise it seems a little odd to only have 1 stance. In addition, I do apologize if there's any background noise, as I've said before. I am at a university, and so there's only so much that I can do to control some of the background noises and sounds. I try to mitigate them as much as possible, but unexpected things, being what they are, it's not always so easy to do. Unfortunately, we have yet to get the 2 Ungoro gorilla pelts that we need, so we'll just have to keep fighting our way through these. Looks like we've got an Ungoro Thunderer and an Ungoro Gorilla on us here. I'm going to try to get him with the punches just to mitigate some incoming damage. And hit this guy with Karmic Touch. There we go, heal up a bit. Now I'm actually going to switch to this one.
I do not have enough energy
to use Killing Blow on him, just because he was at higher health. If we had used our Killing Blow, Touch of Death, on the other foe, it would have been a little more of a waste, so... Or I suppose a little less useful is a better way of putting it, since it's really not particularly a waste either way. It's just a little more wasteful.
I do not have a target.
There we go. Another Ungoro Gorilla Pelt. Now we really only need a Stomper. And since I don't want to tangle with Ucha again, needlessly, I'm just going to jump down here and head out of the cave. So we should be able to find 1 additional Stomper Pelt outside of the cave, and it also puts us in a good position to just leave once we are done. So, all in all, a pretty decent place to be. So let's look around out here, see if we can't find one additional stomper. Hey there, stomper. Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of them.
I am out of range.
There's 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's not too bad. They're not too difficult to find.
That is truly targeted. I cannot catch. Not ready. I don't do that yet.
Alright. Ungoro Stomper taken down, pelt gathered, and we can head out of here. We're probably going to anger a Dimetrodon and a Gorilla. Yeah, we got the Gorilla angered at least. But we'll just sort of head through here and try to make our way back to Mossy Pile. Since we have 3 quests now to turn in there, that's quite a bit to complete. So plenty to turn in, and then plenty to do on our next episode when we head to the Golaka Hot Springs, try to find out what exactly makes them just so gosh darn hot. And we will then eventually be heading to Silithus. Looks like we're approaching halfway through 54 to 55, so we're about 30% of the way through. We'll have to see where we end up when we turn in these quests. But it's, you know, not going to take us too much longer before we're at the point level-wise where we should head to Silithus. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this one in. We got, well, nothing too great. We'll just grab this. And thank you. Here's this one. Apes of Ungoro. Complete. And the Mighty Ucha. And we get something called a Beast Clobberer. Now, that is actually a pretty decent mace. Looks like it's arguably, well, it's comparable to our weapons, so I think we're probably just going to hang on to the ones we have.
Have a good one.
And
Be
great,
good.
discover the Northern Pylon. So, next time, we will take on some of these additional mysteries of the crater. But for now, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode, and I will see you next time. Bye!